Good morning, everybody. Heather Lambert here with your 6 skills of the selling system from my car in Maitland, Florida. I'm not liking this angle and I'm trying to see. Oh, there we go. Love it. I didn't want to have to hold it. So today we're talking about host coaching. So this is our 6 skills of the selling system workshop series, and the first day we talked about prospecting and making lots of new friends and putting yourself in situations where you can meet new people. And then yesterday we talked about booking those parties, right? Making the parties about them, asking them the question so they actually have to give you an answer, and being prepared with supplies so that you can just happen to have things that you can hand to people. Today, we're talking about host coaching. So once you have those bookings, whether they are home parties, basket parties, it doesn't really matter. Host coaching can be the difference between barely qualifying a party or having a huge, amazing, awesome party. So it's an important step. It's also the piece that helps you create the relationships with your host. And when you build that relationship with your host and it's a positive experience for them and it's beneficial for them because they're going to get stuff out of their party and they have a successful party and they get all the things on their wish list and they get huge value, right? Lots of free and half price stuff, then they are going to be more likely to be a repeat hostess, right? They're going to book another party in the future, or they may even start watching you and consider joining your team. I have got some serious reflection going in my glasses and it's driving me crazy. Well, they're very dirty. That's part of it. So the host coaching process is super important because it's going to be the beginnings of that relationship with you and your host. And that's really what it's all about. It's about getting them what they want so they can have a really successful party, and that it's a fun and positive experience so that they want to book again or they want to join your team. Remember that your hosts are watching you. They really are. If they have agreed to have a party, they have thought about doing what you do. Even if they tell you they don't, they've thought about it. They're like, well, I could do that. I did it. I went to 4 parties before I joined Scentsy, and it was with the same consultant. And I watched her at the first party I went to, and I went, wow, this is kind of fun. It's kind of good. Well, she's doing it. I could do that. But I watched her at that party, and, well, I'll tell you tomorrow, actually, during presenting. But I watched her, and over those 4 parties, I watched her business grow. And she was more and more excited about what she was doing. And she was confiding in her friends at the party about her success, and her paycheck was growing. And so I started thinking a little more about that. And I thought, maybe I could. And so, but the timing wasn't right for me and I wasn't ready. But when I was ready, it was there. So just know that your hosts are watching you. And if you are making it look difficult, or you're being difficult, or you are not easy to get a hold of, or you're very demanding, or you're whatever, they're watching. So you got to be having fun. You got to make this a positive, amazing experience for both of you. All right. So what do? Host coaching starts a couple of weeks ahead, right? It starts a couple weeks ahead from the very beginning when you start talking to your host about the party. If you are booking months in advance like I do, and I know Melanie talked about she books, the catalog season way in advance. If you're doing that, then your host coaching actually starts when you book the party months in advance. You've got to continue to touch base with those people, or they will forget about their party and they're not excited anymore and they start changing their mind, right? Booker's regret, I guess you could call it. So you've got to continue to keep their excitement up and keep them looking forward to their party, even if they book months in advance. So that's important. And so one of the things I like to do is plug it into my calendar. And I either put it on my to-do list for, a few weeks out, or maybe next month I'll put it on my list. Or I can set up a note in Maven. So if you're using the Maven app, this is one of the benefits. I can pull the contact of my hostess in Maven and create a note that says they've booked a party on such a day. And then I can create a follow-up for that note that says, check in with your hostess, make sure she's excited. And so Maven will remind me when it's time for that to do, and it'll put it on my to-do list for the day that says, hey, check in with this hostess. It's been a little while. You need to make sure she's still excited and looking forward to her party. So Maven is another reason why it's so valuable for our businesses, especially when we're busy and on the go. I don't have to have my planner. I don't carry my planner around with me anymore. I have it at home. I check it each day. I work with it when I'm at my desk, but I don't take it with me. That's what Maven is for. That's what calendar reminders are for. All that kind of stuff. So use the technology that we have. It's so amazing. There is a story in the workbook. Actually, I don't know if the story is in your workbook. So if you have downloaded, we're a couple of days in, I'll remind you that in the business resources of the workstation, the workbook for the party, it says Party with a Purpose. Party with a Purpose. It's the 6 skills of the selling system workshop. And in that workbook, it talks about Mandy. So I didn't do this at reunion, but I think we have time today, and I think I'm going to read you a story. Ready for story time? So I think I'm going to read it for you real quick, and then we can talk about some of the things. So this story really is just to illustrate the importance of host coaching. And so we're going to talk about some of the things that she did wrong in the beginning and what she could have done differently to make it more successful. And I think this will highlight why host coaching is so important, and we can talk about the specifics after. And I can also tell you about a couple of horror stories that I have had, why hostess coaching is so important. So I'm so glad you guys are watching, Chantel and Rachel and Dina. If you're watching the replay, make sure you comment replay so I know that you saw it. And I hope you're ready for story time. And I would love your participation. So after the story, I'm going to ask you, what could she have done differently? So be prepared to comment. Don't be afraid. It's okay. All right, so I'm going to read you a story. Mandy is a great consultant. She books lots of parties, has great monthly PRV, and leads an active team. Mandy woke with a start on Monday morning. The power went off in the middle of the night, and her bedside alarm clock reset itself. It happens. Before she even opened her eyes, the cold prickles of anxiety zipped from her head to her toes. She knew she was late even before she reached for her smartphone and realized her kids' school started in 5 minutes. We have all been there. She knew they'd all be late, but they jumped out of bed, grabbed whatever clothes were within reach. There was no time to worry about hair and makeup. This was a baseball cap kind of morning. Hello, dry shampoo, right? Mandy yelled for her kids to wake up and get dressed as she darted past their doors, stumbled toward the kitchen, and threw whatever food was handy into paper bags for school lunches. Peanut butter sandwiches for everybody. The kids meandered about, dazed and unaware of their mom's panic-filled existence. It was like herding cats, but within 10 minutes, everyone was piled in the car and on the road. Because we can get it done if we have to. 20 minutes later, Mandy stumbled wearily into a coffee shop. Her kids made it to school, albeit 25 minutes late. She needed to unwind and wake up. As she sat sipping her espresso, Jen, a friend from high school, rushed over and embraced Mandy. Because you never know who you're going to run into, and you always run into them when you are not prepared. How have you been, Mandy? It's been forever, Jen gushed. Pretty good, Mandy stuttered as she regained control over her teetering cup and sat it on the table. After a few seconds of small talk, the conversation led to Mandy telling Jen about her awesome job as a Scentsy consultant. Jen wanted to host a party, but Mandy realized she left her phone at home. She borrowed a pen from the barista and scribbled Jen's info on a napkin. 2 weeks from today, the party was on. Awesome, right? She met a friend, ran into somebody, turned it into a booking. Love it. Used what she had. You got to use your resources. Found a napkin and a pen. Fast forward to the day before the party. It was a busy couple of weeks since Mandy last talked to Jen, and Mandy had almost forgotten she was even throwing a party until her phone buzzed in her pocket. It was Jen texting to let her know she was excited about her party and to make sure it was still on. Though Mandy hadn't really prepared like she should have, she replied in the affirmative and tried to recall the conversation she'd had with Jen a few weeks prior. What did she want as a party theme? Was it a birthday party? Mandy thought. That's right. It was a birthday party for Jen's friend. Jen mentioned her friend was turning 40 and she wanted to get a new warmer as a present. No problem. The following day went by quickly, as they all do, and the next thing Mandy knew, she was pulling up to the address Jen had given her. It was a nice house, and she could see people milling about through the front window. Mandy grabbed her Scentsy tote and purse and headed in. Party time. The party started out well. People were talking and busily looking through the catalog Mandy had brought. She was feeling good about the evening and was ready to unveil the birthday surprise she brought for Jen's friend. Happy 40th birthday, Mandy cheered as she handed the guest a cellophane-wrapped package that contained 4 bars of sea salt and avocado to go with the warmer that Mandy knew Jen was ordering for her. Everything went quiet. I'm not 40, Jen's friend muttered. Someone snickered in the corner of the room. Mandy's mind raced. She could have sworn Jen said it was her friend's 40th birthday, didn't she? Oh, I'm so sorry. I was thinking about my sister's birthday in a few days. Happy 30th birthday, Mandy stuttered. I'm 24, the woman said flatly. Do I look 30? Oh no, I'm so sorry. I'm all sorts of wrong today, Mandy said, feeling sweat beating on her temple. Yeah, and I can't stand avocados either. Mandy knew that was meant to be a jab, and she deserved it. After all, she just told this lady she was 16 years older than she was. The mood had shifted so quickly. How did this party end up so wrong? How? Okay, guys, this is where your participation comes in. Comment, what did Mandy do wrong? Or what could she have done different to prevent some of the things that happened? Can't wait to see what you're typing. Mandy, poor Mandy. She's just a busy girl trying to run her business, having a bad day. And we have all had these kind of parties. So, what it comes down to, this story, is host coaching. She prospected, she talked with people while she was out and about. She put herself in a public place, right, where there were people. She ran into somebody she knew. She booked the party. She did that very well. But then the party fell apart because she didn't host coach. She was missing that piece. And so if you don't host coach, crazy things can happen. And while you guys are telling me what Mandy should have done different, I will share a quick story with you of my own disaster. So I had done an event. I think it was a quick fundraiser at a school, little craft table kind of thing. And I booked some parties. And so it was somebody I never met before. And I booked a party with her. And we were so excited. And I got all our information. And we were getting on to time for the party. And I show up at the house. And as I show up, there is a truck full of people that had just gotten home. You could tell they had just pulled in, and they were unloading. They were all in bathing suits, and they were unloading all of their stuff from their whatever they had just been to, some sort of camping or beach weekend or activity outside, hung out for the day, whatever. They had been having a good family time, and they had just gotten home from that. And the lady saw me and said, "Oh my gosh." I said, "I'm here for the party." She says, "I completely forgot. Nobody's coming. I didn't invite anybody. It's not happening. I'm so sorry. I just completely forgot I had done that." And we just got home, and I'm like, "It's okay. No problem. My fault. I should have touched base better. Let's reschedule." So we rescheduled. We picked a new date, and I show up on the new date. And I knock on the door. Nobody answers. So I knock again. Nobody answers. And I knock a little bit louder. and I can hear behind the door people moving about. There are people home. They are in there. I can hear them. But nobody is answering the door. So I call my hostess and I say, hey, I'm here for your party. And are you home? What's up? And nobody answers the phone. And so I leave a message and I knock a few more times. I sit in my car for a second to see if anybody comes out. Nothing. They are totally avoiding me. People do that. But ultimately it was my fault. I did not host coach properly. And this was very early on in my business, I will say. So I have learned. But it was a lesson that I can use to teach others, because you have got to host coach. And if you don't, people will forget, they will avoid, they will pretend it will go away and that you will never show up. And when you do, it will be very embarrassing and a big waste of time. So host coaching is so super important. All right, so let's get back to Mandy. Dina says she could have put it in her calendar, the party, and put in ahead to get with her some many days later to go over what she wants and make sure the details. Exactly. She should have followed up with her hostess, especially because she didn't have her phone. As soon as she got home, she should have put that party in her phone and set up some reminders to call. I would have texted my friend Jen as soon as I got home and said, it was so great to see you today. Thank you for booking a party with me. And then just set that expectation that you're going to be checking in to confirm the details and whatnot very soon, and to let you know if they need anything. So that first connection is so important. So you've got to find a way that you're going to remind yourself, even when life is crazy busy. You've got to find a way to get it in your calendar, schedule it, and set yourself some alarms. Like I said, Maven works great too. And even though she didn't have her phone at the coffee shop, as soon as she got home, I'd be putting that sucker in my planner, setting up some reminders, putting it in Maven, putting it on my, everywhere. And then thank her for booking. So the gratitude piece is so super important with host coaching. Your job as a consultant is to make your host feel like the most special, amazing person in the whole world, and you are so appreciative and grateful for her for supporting your business, and in supporting you, you are going to help her get all the things that she wants. And that's your goal, is to get everything that she wants. So that's the first thing. So thank you, Dina. Anything else that you guys can think of that she could have done different to make this experience better? So yesterday, was it yesterday? No, prospecting day, we talked about the power hour. So if you're doing a power hour regularly in your business, part of that power hour could be host coaching. And if you have that as a focus for yourself, then whatever hostesses you have coming up, you know you're always going to check in with them. And so that's a great way to make sure you don't miss out. Host coaching. So when you're talking to them, what are you going to talk about? You're going to talk about what kind of party they want to have. So is this truly a birthday party? And if so, how old is the guest? And what does she like? What kind of theme are we going to have? I have a host who wasn't sure if she wanted to play bingo or not, so I needed to confirm that with her. There are people that don't like games at all. And if you show up and try to play a bunch of games, they're going to be just grumpy. So make sure you know if your host likes to play games, or if it's okay if you play a couple of fun icebreakers. Or do they absolutely love games and they're so super competitive, so you want to pick a game where somebody can win? Because I have a lot of games that people don't really win, we just have fun. Maybe they want an open house style because they know their friends and they know their friends will all be late. And so if you do a traditional presentation kind of thing, people are going to show up late throughout that presentation, and that is no fun, I can tell you right now. It just is very distracting. Nothing happens the way you want it to. It's just miserable for everybody, and it ends up making things take longer, which is not fun either. So if they know their friends group is going to be late and just kind of showing up whenever, then maybe you want an open house style type of party. So you want to go over those kinds of details. You want to know how many people are coming to the party. And so I check in and get a number a couple of times. I'll check in a week before to kind of get an estimate of the guest list, so I know how many samples I need to make, how many packets like lapboard packets I need to have, how many catalogs I need to bring, that kind of thing. But then I want to check in the day before also to make sure that that count hasn't changed. Often when I ask them the week before, they will say, well, I've got about 5 or 6 people coming, but I have 3 more that need to tell me whether or not they're coming. So I will check in the night before to see if those numbers have changed at all, to make sure that I bring enough stuff. You don't want to be short. What else? Okay, so the other thing Mandy could have done different, and this is so super important, is showing up early to the party. If your party is at 6, you have to be there at least at 5:30. If your party is at noon, you need to be there at least at 11:30. You've got to be there half an hour in advance. Why? You want to set up. And you don't want to be setting up when guests are arriving. You want to be set up and ready with time to spare, because you want at that party to be greeting the people as they come in. You may even want a few minutes of quiet time before the people come in to chat with your host. And that is another piece of host coaching. Having some time to chat with your host before the party starts is super important, because you're going to get an idea of her state of mind. You're going to get an idea of what she's excited about, what she's looking forward to. You can check in to see who's coming. You can check with her to see if she's collected any outside orders. All of those kinds of things can happen before the party. But if you're not there early, before the guests arrive, then they can't happen. And so those are all things. Make sure you know what her wish list is. What is the most important thing she's hoping to get out of this party that she really wants for free? Because you can encourage her guests during the party and say, hey, she's really trying to get this diffuser. So we need to get this much in sales. And so I know that you guys are going to help her out. Whatever. So yeah, so those are a couple of things. There's a few other things too, but we're going to move on, because I like to do that. What's up, guys? More people have joined. Jamie and Jocelyn. Hi there. So, hostess coaching. So that's my one main failed party I told you about. So another one I can tell you about was a friend of mine that I was working with. She booked a party and she said, oh, it's so-and-so's birthday, so we'll have a Scentsy party and the family will all be there. They're coming over anyway, so, you know, we can have a Scentsy party on this date. Perfect. What I didn't know was that not only was it a birthday party, it was a family reunion type deal. People had not seen each other forever, and they had a barbecue planned also. So guess what people were there for? The barbecue, the family reunion. They were more interested and focused on getting to see everybody and eating barbecue and giving birthday presents and having cake than they were on Scentsy, which meant they were not there to order Scentsy. They didn't really care a whole lot. They listened, they had a good time. I did get a few orders, but it was way longer than it should have been, and it was very hard for me to keep everybody focused on what I was there for, right? And for my hostess, because they just wanted to have barbecue and have a birthday party and see their family. So if I had done a better job host coaching, I would have known that that was going to be the focus of the event, and I might have either changed the date so that it could have been a little different, or I would have come about that party differently. I would not have come with my, you know, presentation and games to play and things like that. It would have been more of an open house style. Here's a display, hand everybody some stuff, encourage them to come check things out while they were visiting. So I would have done a completely different style party, and it may have been more successful. So host coaching is so, so important. You really need to get to know what people's expectations are and what their plans are for your party, so that you know what to bring to come in to make it special. All right, so just to go through a quick checklist of what you should be doing host coaching. So 2 weeks before, you're getting to know your host if you don't know them already, because I often will book parties with people I don't know. So you got to get to know them. Why are they hosting a party? What do they want out of it? How do they prefer to be contacted? So I have contacted people in my preferred way, and then they don't ever respond back. And I'm like, what the heck? They're not responding. And that's because they prefer to communicate in a different way. And so by the time they see my email, it's too late and we're like behind schedule and it's a mess. So find out how they like to communicate and make sure you use that way. Maintain regular contact. We talked about this. Touch base with your hostess multiple times before her party. Thank them for booking. A couple weeks later, I'm so excited. It's getting close. I can't wait. When it's a couple weeks out, make sure you are encouraging them to get invitations. So paper invitations have kind of gone the way. Social media and stuff has taken over. Let me just tell you that Facebook event invitations don't work. I'm just saying. Do not count on a Facebook event that invites people to be your only source of invitation. People will not show up. I guarantee it. You may get a few out of the blue, but you will not have successful parties if that is how you are inviting people to parties. A Facebook event is great to be a source of information for that party. So people can go there to get the link. They can go there to see the specials. They can go there to get the address and the times and confirm where they're going. But it is not a good place to invite people to the party. Do you want to invite people on Facebook? Sure. But you want your hostess to either send a physical invitation. And I'm telling you, you send physical invitations in the mail, people get excited because it's rare. It's not something we do anymore. So when they actually see one, they think it's a special thing. Really, really special. But if you're not going to do paper invitations, then at the very least, your host needs to physically, one-on-one invite each of her guests. She needs to reach out to them either by in person, by phone call, text, private message, maybe email, but even that is less personal these days, and actually communicate to them that they are important to her and she is having a party and really wants them to show up. That is how you get people to show up at a party. So make sure you coach the host to do that. Individual one-on-one invitations to her people. She needs to make sure to invite 3 times as many people as she wants to come. So if you want her to have 10 people at that party, she needs to invite at least 30. So you need to help her brainstorm a list of people that she can invite, because she might think, I don't know 30 people. And yes, you do. Let's make a list. Let me help you remember who you know. And there are ways to do that. So she's going to invite lots of people, and she needs to do that individually, personally, one-on-one to each of her guests. Where was I? So you're going to thank them for booking, talk about inviting, get them excited. You want to encourage her to make a wish list. Have her take a look at the catalog and make a list of all the things that she would want to have. Money, no object. So not what she wants to buy, not what she can afford to have, but everything she could possibly want out of that catalog, she needs to make a list. And have it prioritized, so the most important things at the top. That list is super important. If she has a ton of stuff on that list, things that she truly, truly wants, she is going to be more apt to work hard for you. She's going to make sure those people show up. She's going to make sure that she collects outside orders. She's going to make sure that those people that come place their orders and book more parties, because she wants her stuff. Because people will work hard for what they want. And if she wants it, she will get it. That's how we work. You know it, it's true. So wish list is super, super important. Set up her party page, right? You want to set up a page for her online. We are so transit in this country nowadays. People know people all over the country. They do. Especially for me here in Florida, most people have come from somewhere else. And so they still have friends and family somewhere else. So the party page on our workstation, when you open an order, you make sure it says show on PWS. Yes, please. And it will help you create a party page that is customizable to your host. So customize it. Make it personal. The more you customize that party page, the more effort you put into that, the more successful her online stuff will be. I promise. So you can upload a video if you can take a video with the host and talk about the party and how excited she is and what she's looking forward to getting and what we're going to do at the party and how much fun it's going to be and I can't wait to see you and it's going to be great. If you can record a video like that, particularly with your host, and upload that to the party page, then when people get that link and they open it, there's the video of your host. They're going to pay attention. They will pay attention. If you just leave the stock photos and it be, you know, whatever Scentsy puts up there, it's not special and they're not going to pay attention as much. So the more personal you can make that, the better. The party page also allows you to put preferences at the bottom. So what are her favorite products? Make sure those are there, and you can even type why she likes those products, and it will include her reasons why she prefers these products. Personalize your party page, and the more effort and work you put into that, the more successful it will be. Then it will give you a link to her party that she can share with everybody. Encourage her to text it, email it, post it on her Facebook page, throw it out to everybody. Here's a link. I'm having a party. Check it out. We did a video. You got to go watch the video on the party page. Like, totally talk it up and get excited about it. And that will encourage outside orders. Online orders, which you don't have to do nothing about, which is even better. So the party page is super, super powerful if you work it. And I think there are way too many consultants that don't work the party page right now. I like to meet with my hostess a couple weeks in advance and give her a basket party. So when you have a home party with me, you actually have a home party, a basket party, and an online party, all three. And if you are, it's sort of like having multiple streams of income, right? You have multiple streams of orders, and that's going to make your party the most successful it can be. So you don't just collect orders at the party. You give her a basket a week or two in advance so that she can share testers and catalogs with the people to, one, get everybody excited. And you're not going to give them all the testers. You're just going to give them a selection. Just enough to like tease them a little bit. But they're going to have all the catalogs there to kind of look through and make their own wish lists and get excited about some things and seeing some stuff. The other thing it does is it allows people that can't make it because of other commitments to be able to place orders. So they're going to look through that catalog and they're going to sniff some scents and they're going to go ahead and give your hostess their order even though they can't come. So the more outside orders she collects, the more successful your party will be. And like I said, it's going to let people get excited that are coming. There may be people that she doesn't invite to her home party that she interacts with in her regular life that happens to see that. Maybe some coworker at work that she doesn't really like that much, doesn't want at her house, but they're going to see that basket party and maybe place an order. So you get the benefit of that. And you have new contacts that you wouldn't have connected to otherwise because they're placing orders. Online orders as well. So you're going to have that link to your party page. So she's collecting online orders, she's collecting basket orders. And by the time you come to the home party, she may have a qualifying party to start with. And we haven't even started the party yet. And that's how you grow your sales at your parties. That's how you get your hostess as the most free and half price stuff. And how you can get her entire wish list for a fraction of the cost. And then if you can do that, she is so happy with you. She'll be loyal forever. She will book her next party right away. She will be considering joining your team because your party was just amazing. And it was so easy. And hello, the host does all the work. I'm just saying. Yeah, so that is what I do. I like to give them basket party a couple weeks before. Also, the day or two before, I will connect and just say how excited I am. Your party's coming up. I'm ready. I packed. I sent my last hostess a photo of the thank you gifts that I had made up for her guests. And that she was like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Can't wait to see what that is. So that was really fun. Another trick you can do is I asked her to connect with all her guests, confirm that they were coming, and ask them to wear a color. So if they wore, that particular party was red, white, and blue because she's a huge Patriots fan and we actually scheduled the party around the Patriots football game. So I had all of her guests wear red, white, and blue to the party. And if they brought a guest. So let them know that if they wear red, white, and blue, I'll get them extra tickets into our raffle. And if they bring a guest, I will give them 2 extra tickets in the raffle. So she had to connect with her guests again. She couldn't just say she was going to do it and forget and hope they showed up. She had to call them all. She had to confirm they were coming, and if they were, she had to let them know to wear a special color because there's going to be a raffle and you might win. And now that person is like, oh, well, why do we have to wear red, white, and blue? I got to check this out. And there's a raffle? Cool. I'm going to show up. Maybe I'll win. So now you have a better chance of people showing up. All right. During the party, again, show up early so you can have some conversations with your host. But during the party, you want to make her feel special. You want to highlight her, and she's your business partner for that party. So I like to give her a gift of some kind. Usually it's a Scent of the Month bar because I get a huge pack of those in my subscription, Scent of the Month subscription. So I have plenty, and it's something new and exciting. But you can give her just a little gift. It doesn't even have to be Scentsy. You can go to the dollar store and find something $100 grand bar and say, you're, so valuable to me. Here's a little candy bar. Like, it can be anything. People don't care what you give them. It's the matter that you took the time and thought to give them something. They don't care what it is. People just like to get stuff. I also like to include her in the party. So I like to ask her opinion on products so she can tell her friends about products instead of me doing it. It's way more beneficial and powerful. They will listen to her. They may not listen to me. It's sort of like you're a parent of a child telling you how wonderful they are, or somebody that you know who has interacted with that child telling you how wonderful they are. Like, you believe them more than the parent, right? So I like her to do that. I like her to help me with games. So if we're playing a card game or something like that, I will let her pass stuff out, or let her be a judge of some drawing thing that we're doing, or whatever it is. I like to involve her in the process because I want her to feel what it's like to be running a party, to be talking about product. Why? Because after the party, I'm going to offer her the opportunity. I'm going to offer her this as her launch party every time. And if you're not doing this, this is a huge recruiting opportunity for you. At the end of every single party, you say to your host, well, you've done a great job. I'm so proud of you. I'm so excited. You have earned this much in free and half price product, or you can get free and half price product and this much in a paycheck. Which would you like? Offer them a choice. They have to pick one. Are they going to pick free and half price, or are they going to pick free and half price and a paycheck? You can see how a lot of people would start to think when they wouldn't have necessarily thought about doing this a business initially. Now that they're offered what they were going to get anyway, plus $100, because average home party, $400 to $500, is going to pay them $100. They're going to start thinking twice about that. And oftentimes, if it's a really good party, it's a no-brainer. Because I had a host, Miss Gina, if she listens to this, her party was well over $1,000. She was going to make $250 commission from that party. The kit only cost $100. So even if you pay for the kit now, you're going to get a check for $250. That leaves you $150 profit plus all the free stuff. And now you have a business that you can choose to grow or not. But you have this opportunity that you're in the middle of, and then next month you can make more money, and next month and all of these people that ordered at your party, $1,000 worth of people ordered product. They're all going to need refills. Hello. So even in a couple months, you could make a little bit more money and a little bit more money. And if you really choose to work and grow it, it could be a huge business. But it was sort of a no-brainer decision at the time, right? Or she could just get the free stuff and no money. So always offer to gift the party to your hostess. And so the way that it would work, traditionally, they would go ahead and sign up, do the $99, purchase their kit, and sign up. You could do it right there at the end of the party. Guests have left, you hang around and sign them up on their computer. And as soon as you sign them up, they have access to their workstation, and then you enter the party with them under them instead of you. And now they have kickstarted their business. They're going to be successful right off the bat. They have reimbursed themselves for their kit, and they're going to get paid the very next month in just a few weeks. So it is a great way to kick somebody off to an amazing start with a launch party right off the bat. And you have gifted them that party. That's a gift. That's generous. That's giving more than you take, right? You're helping somebody launch a whole new life, a whole new journey, and helping them make some money. So if you are offering that to every single party that you have, you're going to start to see your team start to grow. You're going to start to see your business grow. You're going to start to see your paycheck grow. I promise you that. The other cool thing is Scentsy has now introduced our host kit, right? So if they don't want to upfront the $99, they can choose to use their host credit on a host kit, which is only $59. They don't need a huge party to take advantage of that benefit and not have any money out of pocket. They can use the host credit to purchase their kit, so they don't have any money out of pocket. And then when you close the party, I believe Scentsy is actually allowing you to call up consultant support and gift that party to your host that just joined. So they will move the party under them instead of you. So that is a super awesome advantage. And then you can, again, help them get started, even if they don't have the funds to get started on their own. Yeah, so that is host coaching in a nutshell. Again, the most important piece of host coaching is to build that relationship with your host. Make it a positive, fun experience. Create a successful party so that they get the things that they want, so that they are inspired to book again and again and again, or they're inspired to join your team because it was so fun. It was so exciting. I got so much free stuff, and I can get free stuff and a paycheck. I'm joining, and gonna see where this opportunity takes me. So that is host coaching in a nutshell. If you guys have any questions, anybody have any questions? I have no idea what time it is. I could start my car and see what time it is. What are your questions around host coaching? Hi, Amanda. Amanda's on with us today. Again, make sure you comment if you are watching the replay, so I know that you did. Share with your teams. The recording will be on YouTube. So my YouTube channel, if you don't know it, is smilesandscentstv.com. And if you go there, I have all of my training videos from the very beginning of my Scentsy journey, which are kind of fun to go back and watch. The very beginning of my Scentsy journey, I have videos up from way back then, all the way until now. And you can search through all the videos and find whatever applies to you or whatever you feel like you need inspired or inspiration from. Some of my training talks and speeches I have done at events. So I've spoken at World Tour multiple times, and at Reunion I've done a few breakouts, and there's a couple of those where I did the presentation for you from my living room, even if you weren't at the event. So all right, so there's no questions coming in. That's okay. If you have questions in the future, please don't be afraid to comment them. I will go back and read those comments and reply if necessary and help you out. Remember, I don't know what I don't know, so I need to know what you need to know. Does that make sense? So the more you tell me what you need, the more I can give that to you. And whether it is to reply to your comment or to do another training video on something specific, I'm happy to do it. All right, hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Tomorrow, Thursday, we are on day 4, right? The 4th skill, 6 skills of the selling system. This is the Party with a Purpose workshop. We are talking about presenting. So presenting at your parties, presenting the products, presenting the opportunity, presenting all the things. So much fun. And I find that for a lot of people, it's the most nerve-wracking. It's the part that they're really scared about, and it's the part that prevents them from booking in the first place. And so if you are somebody who is super nervous about getting up and talking in front of people and being like the expert on your Scentsy stuff, that could be preventing you from not only booking parties, but from talking to people in general. Like, you are sabotaging yourself and your business because you're afraid to present to the party. Right? Am I speaking truth? Let me know if you think that's true. Click the heart, click the thumbs up. If you really think about it, are you sabotaging yourself because you're afraid to talk to people at the party? Are you afraid to present? Are you afraid to talk in front of the group? Are you afraid to get up there in front? Does that make you so nervous that you feel like you want to throw up? And because of that, you are probably sabotaging yourself subconsciously and not booking and not prospecting because you don't want to get to that point where you actually have to do it. Oh, I'm so scared. So we're going to talk about some things that maybe will help you and help you overcome and let you know that there is no perfect party, and you do not have to worry about doing things perfect or messing things. Like, you can't mess it up. So there's no worries. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. So tomorrow is presenting. And then we'll be back next week, Monday and Tuesday, for the last 2 skills, follow-up and sponsoring. So you won't want to miss that. So I hope you have a great rest of the day, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye for now.